Yo, this is 2014, this is Dub FX, shouting out to all my Swiss beatboxers. Keep the beats alive, put some soul in there, boom.
We got the knees in the mouth of the beast with the fist in the air by macho. For the hunter is hunted and sword has been blunted by echoes of hunger and soul.
2006 was when I started playing around with the loop stations. I was already using effects over my voice in lots of different bands. From about 2001, I started playing with the GT6 effects processor on my voice. So I was playing doing lots of delays and lots of reverbs, and you know, playing with the different pitch shifters and bass lines. And then around 2006, I saw this guy called Mal Webb. He's a very good beatboxer and vocalist, and he was, but he's not like a hip hop beatboxer. Yeah. He does like very weird, eccentric stuff. It's like Bobby McFerrin mixed with Aphex Twin. That's the kind of stuff he does. It's weird. Okay. So I saw him using a loop station, and I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like it before. Beatboxing and looping it, and then singing, and then looping and layering, and I was just like, and then I went home and I thought about it, and I was like, wow, if I had a loop station with the effect pedal, because I've already got all these sounds, I could loop them in. I could try and do something really different, really original. So the first was, I started with the GT6 and the Akai Head Rush pedal loop station, and that's all I had. And every time I would make a loop, I'd have to then tap tempo the GT6 so that my delays would be in time. Then in 2009 is the GT10B. Well, the GT10 and the 10B came out, and I went to buy the GT10 because I had a GT8, but then when I tried the GT10B, the bass effects processor, it blew my mind, because with the GT8, and you could only do 3 good bass sounds. There was like an octave sound, which sounded like a sine wave, so it was really nice bass sounds. Then there was an octave one that made me sound like whoa, whoa, whoa sounds, and then there was one synth which sounded good. That's it. With the GT10B, I've got like 20 different bass sounds I can make, because it's a bass effects processor, and you just put all the effects on and a tweak, and already it sounds good. Now I'm on the GT10B and the RC505. I love that I used to be able to only use my feet. Yeah. It was a different thing. I was only using my feet, and I got very good at doing it all. But now I've got more control, because with my hand on the RC505, I've got more tracks. I've got 5 tracks. I've got filters.
Can you do everything that you have in your mind?
There's lots of things that I'd love to be able to do. I mean, if I could play every instrument on the planet, then yeah, I could probably do anything. It's always going to be limited. I need the limitations. That's why I never used Ableton Live, because Ableton is almost unlimited what you can do, because you can trigger backing tracks, you can get unlimited amounts of effects and synthesizer sounds, and if I've got too many options, then I just don't do anything, because it's too hard to choose. Whereas when you've got, on a loop station you have 5 tracks, and now on the 505, on the 50 I only had 3 tracks, you know, plus the undo button. So I could make 3 loops plus a 4th loop, which I could take away with the undo button and put back in. So my sound was created from these pedals, or the Dub FX sound was created from these pedals, which, you know, is amazing. For the first 3 years, I was making excellent money on the street. In fact, I would have been happy just staying there, because, you know, in 1 hour, the first time I ever went street performing, in 1 hour, I made 240 euros. That was the first time. After 3 years, I made 700-800 euros an hour minimum. Do you understand that? That's more than most people make in a week. And I was making that in 1 hour. Exactly. So 700-800 euro an hour, man. And I was doing that in Amsterdam, and I was traveling. I was following the summer everywhere. I'd go in Australia for the summer, Europe for the summer, Australia for summer, Europe for summer. Me and my Flower Fairy, we did whatever the fuck we wanted. We ate in any restaurant we wanted. We saw any movie we wanted to. We traveled everywhere. We had a van, we had a solar panel, we had hot water system. We were happy, man. Life was amazing. But then, in 2009, YouTube comes along and made me famous in a different way. So all of a sudden I started getting shows in Eastern Europe, and they started paying me lots of money. And all of a sudden I didn't need to street perform anymore, because that's the reason I did it, was to make a bit of money so I could live. All of a sudden I don't have to street perform anymore. Now when I do it, I don't do it for the money. I don't really go out to try and sell CDs. I go out there because I do it almost for Instagram and for the social media, because well, not the attention. I do it because the fans want it, and also I need it because it helps. It resets me You know, it grounds me. I'm like, if I'm in too many big stages performing in front of like 10,000, like Exit Festival with 10,000 people, it's a different show. It has to be bang, straight on. I have to do 4-minute songs. Everything has to be calculated. When I'm on the street, I can make a beat and let that roll for like 10 minutes. I can do the one song that lasts 10, 15 minutes if I want, because it's my fucking show. It's my street. This is my sound system. You can fuck off if you want. I don't care. I'm here for me.
Why did you need a beatbox with your loop instrument?
Well, before I was beatboxing originally at school when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Just to be cool?
No, not to be cool. Well, kind of, but it was like, all my boys, we all wanted to freestyle, and we were freestyling about dumb things. It was more comedy, and we needed a beat. So I was always going.
Yes.
And then one day I started going. And then I started doing, and now I got into the sound of, and I learned how to make the sound stronger and louder because it was so loud. People fell in love with the originality of the sound that I had, and the beatboxing is part of it. It's a very big part of my show, and I know whenever I do it on stage, everyone's like, yeah, they love it that I'm making the beats. There are so many more ideas that I wish that I could beatbox drum and bass like Reaps One or all these other beatboxers can do drum and bass. Beautiful. I can't do it. With my beatboxing, I only ever do a kick, snare, and a hi-hat. I can but I would never loop that.
Okay.
Because if I loop that, I can't take the bass away.
Yeah.
The bass is always there.
Just the drums.
I just did the drums. Then I layer the bass line on a different channel so I can take it away or take the drums away.
I've been in UK, Italy, Poland, France, Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Seen the Baltic states, lived in Austria, Hungary, Czech Republic, and Romania. I've seen Bulgaria, Russia, and Georgia, Ukraine, Greece, Turkey, and Canada, Africa, USA, New Zealand, Thailand, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Japan. So many more places to go. See, I got too many lyrics up here on my brain. Too many melodies and I'm going insane.
The thing about beatboxing is that it gets boring very quickly for an audience. Yeah? Whenever I see a beatboxer get on stage these days in the club, I'm always like, it's like if a drummer gets on stage and he goes, all right, I'm gonna do some drum and bass. And they do it too fast, like everyone's just like, all right, and then they stop. They go, now I'm gonna do a hip hop beat. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Play me a song. My advice to every beatboxer out there, is to don't show off. No one cares that you've got skill. It doesn't matter how fucking skillful you are. It matters how musical you are. When you go to see a show, you want to see an artist. You want to see someone lose themselves in the music. You want to see someone have fun. You don't want to see technique. Who gives a shit about technique? That's what annoys me the most. Beatboxers try too hard to show off and like, check it out, man, I can do all of this stuff. Shut the fuck up. Make a fucking groove. Make me dance. Beatboxers out there, if you want to fucking get anywhere, put some soul in there. And loop station is the best place to start because you start with a minimal beat, you put like a loop that, everyone can start dancing to it, and then over the top you can go do all the scratch sounds, add a bass line, make a song. Fuck technique, give me soul. That's all I'm gonna say.